You know you need to say no. You have known for months, maybe longer. There is something in your life right now, maybe several things, where you keep saying yes when everything inside you is screaming no. And every single time you do it, you feel that familiar wave of resentment wash over you the moment the word leaves your mouth. But when you try to say no, or even just imagine saying no, something stops you immediately. A voice that says, they will be hurt. They will think you are selfish. You are not being fair. The relationship will suffer. You are too sensitive. Other people manage this just fine. So you say yes again. And you spend the next several days carrying the emotional cost of a commitment you never actually wanted to make. Sound familiar? Today I want to help you understand exactly why that guilt is there, what it actually is, and what to do about it once and for all. The guilt you feel around saying no is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is not your conscience telling you that you are a bad person. It is a sign that you were taught, directly or indirectly, that your needs matter less than other people's comfort. That keeping the peace is your responsibility. That love means being available. That good people always say yes. Most people with this pattern learned it young. Maybe in a family where expressing needs led to conflict or disappointment. Maybe from a culture or community that equated self-sacrifice with virtue. Maybe from a relationship where your worth was tied entirely to your usefulness to others. And the body keeps that lesson long after the brain forgets where it came from. So when you try to say no as an adult, your nervous system responds as if you are doing something genuinely dangerous. The guilt, the anxiety, the rush to apologize and take it back, these are not signs of moral failure. They are your nervous system running a very old program. A program that was written when you were young and had no other choice. But you have choices now. And that program can be rewritten. Here is something nobody tells you about always saying yes. It does not make you a good person. It makes you an exhausted one. Every yes you give from a place of guilt or fear rather than genuine desire is energy taken directly away from the things that actually matter to you. Your own healing. Your own rest. Your own relationships. Your own goals. Every time you say yes to something you do not want to do, you are saying no to something you actually need. And here is the other thing nobody talks about. Resentment. When you consistently say yes against your will, resentment builds. Quietly at first. Then louder. Until one day you find yourself feeling bitter toward people you actually love, not because they are bad people but because you have been giving them things you could not afford to give. And they had no idea because you never told them. Resentment is the price of unexpressed boundaries. And it does far more damage to your relationships over time than a gentle honest no ever could. Here is the reframe that changes everything. A boundary is not a wall you put up to keep people out. It is a statement about what you can give, and still remain well. It is not rejection. It is honesty. And honest relationships are the only ones worth having. When you say no from a place of self-awareness, you are not abandoning the other person. You are showing up as your real self rather than a performance of yourself. You are saying, I care about this relationship enough to be honest with you about what I can and cannot give right now. People who genuinely love you will respect that. They may need a moment to adjust. But they will adjust. And the relationship will be stronger for it because it will be built on truth rather than on your silent sacrifice. Step 1. Start small. You do not need to overhaul your entire life this week. You do not need to suddenly say no to everything and everyone all at once. That is not the goal and it is not sustainable. Pick one situation, just one, where you have been saying yes when you mean no. Maybe it is a recurring commitment that drains you. Maybe it is a request that comes up regularly that you always agree to out of guilt. Maybe it is something as simple as a phone call you dread but always take. Practice saying this, I am not able to do that right now. Say it out loud right now if you want. Notice how it feels in your body. That discomfort you feel is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is the feeling of doing something new. Of acting against an old, deeply ingrained program. You do not owe anyone an explanation. "I am not able to do that right now" is a complete sentence. It does not require justification. It does not require an apology. It is enough. Step 2. Expect the discomfort and do not run from it. The first few times you hold a boundary, the guilt will come. That is normal. That is expected. The guilt is not evidence that you did something wrong. It is the gap between your old programming and your new behavior. And every single time you feel that guilt and hold the boundary anyway, the guilt gets slightly quieter. Every single time. Think of it like a muscle. The first time you use a muscle you have never trained before, it is uncomfortable. It protests. It aches. But it does not mean you should stop. It means you are building something. The discomfort of holding a boundary is temporary. The resentment of never holding one is permanent. Choose the temporary discomfort. It is worth it every single time. Step 3. Pay close attention to who respects your boundary and who does not. This is the most revealing part of the whole process. When you start saying no, really watch what happens. Some people will take a breath, adjust, and meet you where you are. Those people love you. Those are the relationships worth investing in. Other people will push back. They will guilt you. They will make your no about them. They will suddenly become very disappointed or very angry or very wounded. And here is what that reaction is telling you: they were not invested in you. They were invested in your availability. Those are very different things. You are not responsible for managing other people's reactions to your honest no. You are only responsible for delivering it with respect. What they do with it after that is entirely up to them. Here is something I want you to sit with before we close. Saying no to things that drain you is not selfish. It is stewardship. You are the only person who gets to live in your body, manage your energy, and decide what you give your limited time to. Nobody else is doing that job. Nobody else even can. When you treat your own energy as something valuable, something worth protecting, you show up better for the people you actually choose to show up for. You give from fullness instead of from depletion. You love from abundance instead of from fear. That is not selfishness. That is wisdom. And it is available to you starting today with one small honest no. You are allowed to have limits. You are allowed to need things. You are allowed to say no to things that drain you without explaining yourself to anyone. This is not selfishness. This is self-preservation. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have. And you cannot keep giving what you have been giving at the rate you have been giving it, without something eventually breaking. Please share this video with someone in your life who has been saying yes to everything and quietly falling apart because of it. They need this more than they know. Subscribe for tomorrow. We are going to talk about something that does not get enough attention. The mental load of being the strong one. For the person everyone leans on but nobody checks on. That one is going to hit close to home for a lot of people. I will see you then. Take extraordinary care of yourself.